And as typical Jews, they start making suggestions. This one says, let's turn around and fight to the death. We don't want to go down. This one says, let's run into the desert. But not a single one of them, they were still rational or semi-rational. No one came up with the bright idea of saying, let's go for a swim. Let's go into the Red Sea. And the solution to the problem came in a manner that none of them could possibly thought of. Unfortunately, many of us today think ourselves as rational, intelligent human beings, and if based on our rationale and intelligence, it seems to us that we can't come up with a solution to our problem, we don't see a solution in sight, well then it's over. Then the person quits, they give up. They give up on themselves, they give up on the situation. And the Torah tells us that especially when it comes to this, especially when it comes to Zivugim, be ready for a surprise. The solution many times is not what you thought, and it's not even where you were looking. The solution comes from a totally unexpected place. What you need to bring to the equation is faith in Hashem, faith in yourself, self-confidence, prayer, and a smile, a persistent smile, an unyielding smile, being able to find an excuse every single day to have that smile. Everyone knows that very few human beings can tolerate someone without that smile. Without that smile, a person's closing the door on themselves. This applies to a person looking for a zivug. This applies to a person who's happily married for 25 years. The minute that person comes home with a long face, they're tempting their spouse, they're tempting the Yetzer Hara for a fight, for something negative. Whereas if a person knows that we as human beings, when we see that smile, Rabbi Nachman wrote 200 years ago he wrote that there are many people walking around today with heavy burdens. They're carrying major weights upon themselves. And what compounds the situation, what makes it 100 times worse is that they don't have anyone to share it with. They don't have anyone that they feel comfortable, that they could really express what's going on, the pain and suffering that's going on inside their heart. And when such a person engages another person across them with a smile on, that person diffuses, sometimes that's an injection of life, an injection of hope, and that can literally a tchiyat hamesim. And he says, don't think for a moment. The Gemara says in Tanit that one of the rabbis of the Gemara once engaged Eliyahu Hanavi. And he said to him, he was in a marketplace where there were Jews scurrying, hustling, bustling back and forth. And he said to Eliyahu Hanavi, you have eyes, you have vision. Could you tell me which person in this marketplace is a success, a true success, is going to Gan Eden paradise? And the Gemara tells two stories. One of them, Eliyahu Hanavi pointed to a person, he pointed to two people and said, you see those two over there? They are real righteous people. And this rabbi immediately started walking towards them, and he said, please, I need to speak to you. And they knew that this rabbi was one of the most respected rabbis in the city. They said, sure, what do you want? He said, I need you to tell me what's special about you. Special? Nothing. Can't think of anything. And they're looking at a rabbi, they figured probably, he wants to know how many pages of Gemara they've studied, how many mitzvahs they don't know. He says, it's not true. Please think. I'm speaking from factually. I know this. If you had to pick anything in your life that you enjoy doing, that you think is special or good, what would you say? They look at each other. They say, what we really enjoy doing is making people laugh. Whenever we see people that are depressed, we have a way about us of getting a person to crack a smile, to break a smile. And whenever we see people that are in conflict, people are upset at each other, each one of us has the ability to take one on this side and to talk, to put the person in a kind of frame of mind where they can forget what was upsetting them, what was getting them down, and to make them smile. And the Gemara refers to these two as Hani Trei Batchi, the two jokers. And the Gemara says that Leonovi said these two people are destined, these two people are going to receive one of the most important portions in paradise. This is not a story of thousands of years ago. This is especially true today in our time. A Jew who takes the advice, we started by saying that the Torah is 613 pieces of advice. This advice especially of this simcha, this inner joy, and forcing ourselves to express it, to put a smile on to every single person we're in contact with, to put on and to search within ourselves. There isn't a human being alive that can't identify something good in their life. The Gemara tells a story about a person who came to a rabbi with his wife. They were married for a number of years, and this person said, I had it. She's terrible. She's the worst. There isn't a single good thing I can say about her. The rabbi said, really? He said, yes. He said, okay, I want you to list her faults. And the Gemara says he started listing them. 1. The rabbi said, really? It's terrible. 2, 3, everything. And the person listed 20, 30 different things wrong with her. And then the person said to the rabbi, and if you could tell me one good thing about her, I give you my word, I'll go back home, I'll be the best husband she ever had. The rabbi says, you're sure? Yes, definitely. He says, give me your hand. I want you to shake on it. Let's shake on it. If I can come up with one good quality about this one good thing about her, you agree to treat her with respect and definitely. The rabbi says, what's her name? He says, her name is terrible. He mentioned the word in Aramaic that means terrible. He says, look how fitting. Look how she's a person with it. The name fits the personality. I shake your hand, go back home, you have a... This person smiled. The Gemara says the rabbi won. The rabbi won. This was something the person hadn't thought. It sounds totally comical, ridiculous, that it isn't. If each and every one of us will examine our own lives, we have the ability to identify something, 1, 2, 3 points. Rabbi Natan says a song is composed of musical notes. Those that read music, it's dots, little dots. A dot here, a dot there on the octave. That's how we compose a song, music. Rabbi Nachman says each and every one of us has the ability to sing by identifying these little good points, the dots in our lives. A dot here, a dot there, something positive in my situation, something positive in my life. And the minute a person starts singing that song, they're going to achieve their success. They're going to realize their potential. I said again that the fact that we're not 10, we're 30 or 40 people that are present here sharing these words of Torah, the Gemara promises that whenever 10 Jews get together, the Shekhinah, the Spirit of Hashem is present. May the Spirit of Hashem bring the bracha, the blessing that each and every single one of us here needs in their own personal lives, whether it's health, any type of success, physically, spiritually, emotionally, socially. I hope we're going into the choicest month of the year. This coming month, Elul, is the final month. In the Hebrew calendar, this is the final month of the year. The year is not closed yet. The Gemara tells us that each one of the Jewish months has a corresponding sign of the zodiac. The sign of the zodiac for the month of Elul is Bisula, a maiden. The maiden is the symbol, the sign of the zodiac for this month. And the Gemara Ketubot begins with the words Notnin lebisula shneim osar chodesh. In the olden days, when a couple would get engaged, the girl would be given 12 months to prepare clothing, to prepare everything she needed to be able to start married life, to be able to start building a family. One of the rabbis writes that this 12th month of the year, this final month of the year, which is represented by the Betula, the maiden, Notnin lebetula shneim osar chodesh. A Jew has the ability in this 12th month, if they do it properly, to fix the entire